What is up, everybody? I am NerdRage36, and if you've been keeping up with the weather as of late, then you would know that at the time of me recording this, I'm kind of going to be stuck inside for a few days. Why did you two lie to me? So I figured I'd just record a video talking about a topic that I actually brought up in my last pickups video, and that is cartoon memories. And this is most definitely going to be a multiple video thing because there's a lot to talk about. And I mean, I ran out of gaming memories to talk about, so why not? But yeah, I guess there's nothing else to say about it. Let's just dive right in. So I skipped over basically all of the edutainment type games in my gaming memories video, but it's gonna be hard to do that when talking about TV shows, because that's basically what most kids were allowed to watch super early on. So, like, if you want to talk about the very beginning, you kind of have to start there. But yeah, I really don't have a ton to say about most of the edutainment content that was out when I was a kid. I mean, I did watch PBS Kids from time to time, although mostly that was because it was on the TVs at the doctor's office when I was a kid. But I do remember plenty of the shows. Like, I remember Dragon Tales, I remember Arthur, I remember Roly Poly Oly, of all things. Although, it's funny, the one thing I remember the most about that show was the one episode where the kids and the parents swapped responsibilities to see who had it tougher. And so the kids were making dinner, and of course, being kids, they made nothing but dessert. And when they served it to the parents, they're like, "No, we want vegetables." That's bullshit, and you know it. Like, I find it so amusing that in something like the SpongeBob movie, one of the things that made people say that SpongeBob is a kid is the fact that he still eats ice cream. Most adults will eat more ice cream than any child ever will. Like, when I got my driver's license, you know what I heard so often? "Hey, can you go to 7-Eleven and get us ice cream?" So that kind of sticks in my mind. It's like, as a kid, obviously, you would think, like, oh yeah, your parents are into nothing but the boring stuff. But it is funny to look back at that and it's like, that's a lie. But another PBS show that I watched, and actually I did reference it in a pickups video when I got Kirby and the Forgotten Land, is Maggie and the Ferocious Beast, which, again, I don't really have a ton to talk about with that. It was a show that I definitely watched plenty of, but it didn't really stick in my head. The most I do remember is, I think the pig character lived in a box, and Maggie's hat was like the bag of holding. Although, with the design of the beast, like, yeah, it's pretty simple for a kid's show, but there's one thing I kind of want to see a too edgy for me, hyper-realistic design of. I do kind of want to see what Maggie and the Ferocious Beast would look like in that art style. That'd be kind of interesting. But one of the most prominent edutainment shows that I do have a lot of memories of is, of course, The Magic School Bus. Now, I don't think I really did catch a ton of episodes of Magic School Bus on TV, but we did have a lot of VHS tapes of the show, or maybe it was even just one with multiple episodes on it. I don't quite remember, but I do know the episodes were the flying episode, the weather episode, the asteroid episode, and I think it's almost like required that anyone that watched this show have the dinosaur episode as one of their favorites. And I'm just going to say it. If I get to an age where the idea of Arthur versus the T-Rex doesn't make me smile, shoot me. Because, again, like, it was really cheesy, but god damn, that was hilarious to watch and just also really cool. It's like, come on, short arms. Yeah, that episode sticks in my mind, and yeah, like, Magic School Bus, it's cheesy and it's obviously for kids, but I could definitely see people like going back to it every once in a while just because of the sheer randomness. And also, yeah, Miss Frizzle is kind of crazy, but a fun kind of crazy. Now, next I'm going to talk about 3 shows that all belonged to the same studio. I don't quite remember the name of the studio, but you definitely know the studio logo sound effect, you know. Boing. Yeah, that one. And I think the first one everyone thinks about when it comes to that studio is the Rugrats. And again, this was a show that I definitely watched plenty of, but I think mostly it was just because it was on. It's not like one of those, like, I need to watch every episode. Granted, that's kind of the case with a lot of early shows. It's like you just kind of watched it because it wasn't necessarily something you sought after, but honestly, it's a harmless show. I think the thing that drew me in, even as a kid, was Tommy's ingenuity with that screwdriver he had, and his dad Stu's crazy inventions. Like, those were definitely my favorite parts. Which can I just point out that, like, Stu's inventions are like, why aren't most of these real? Like, I know guys in their 40s who wish they had the Reptar wagon, and like the Reptar Land animatronics. Like, are we just going to gloss over the fact that Stu Pickles was able to build this in a garage with a box of scraps? Like, damn, dude, how, like, were the Pickles a struggling family? I know that Drew, Stu's brother, was always seen as the more successful one, but yeah, how could Stu technically be struggling if he was able to pull that off? But the next show that I remember from that studio is Rocket Power. And fun fact about that show, it actually premiered on my 4th birthday, like the actual day of. And I think 4 years old was when I kind of like turned on, like I actually started forming cohesive memories or coherent memories or whatever you want to call it. But like I actually became somewhat self-aware. So like a birthday gift from Nickelodeon. Just, that's a crazy memory. But yeah, no, Rocket Power was honestly a lot of fun. There was almost a Goonies-esque grittiness to how the characters and like the kids and even the adults like acted around each other. Like it felt very real, but it was obviously over exaggerated. But it never like reached the point of like overly weird humor or gross out humor. Like it definitely fit like a very realistic but exaggerated view of childhood and extreme sports and whatnot, which was very big in the 90s. But if any Gen Zers are watching this, basically think of it as a prototype of Kick Buttowski. Like, if you liked Kick Buttowski, you're going to like Rocket Power. But also, that theme song. That theme song slaps, and I think you need it stuck in your head. I do not apologize. But the last show I'm going to talk about with this particular studio was The Wild Thornberrys. And yeah, this is, again, just another interesting show. Like, I don't particularly see anyone going back to it unless they have, like, young children or they're just watching it as a family, even if like everyone in the family is grown up, because it is genuinely an interesting show with an interesting concept and a lot of fun moments. But it is definitely more meant for the education side of things and just trying to teach the kids about animals, and that's a good thing. But it is still a fun watch. But I think most people would just kind of watch it with other people. It's not something you would seek out to watch completely on your own, is what I'm trying to say. But no, it was a really fun show. It was actually a show that my mom liked watching with me and my brother when we were little kids. Like, it was actually something she would look forward to, and the whole family actually went to go see the Wild Thornberrys movie in theaters, and that was just a kind of a big thing for us. And actually, there was a line from the Wild Thornberrys movie that my brother and I quoted all the time after we watched it. And it was at the very end. It's like, you know, that whole power thing? I can't wait to tell everybody. You can't tell anybody or you'll turn into a baboon. A baboon? I am not spending the rest of my life with a big purple butt. Why is that still in my head? Oh my. I remember the weirdest things. But no, Wild Thornberrys was a lot of fun. And yeah, I don't know what else to say, but it was just an interesting show and definitely a part of my childhood, a big part of my childhood, actually. And again, it was something the whole family could enjoy, and that's special. So another like major 90s cartoon that I probably couldn't talk about the shows I grew up with without mentioning it is Hey Arnold. And this was a show I definitely watched a lot, but again, it wasn't really anything that I quote-unquote sought after, but unlike something like the Wild Thornberrys, where it's something that you could appreciate as an adult, but it's not something you would like watch completely on your own, I could definitely see Hey Arnold being a return watch for anyone of any age, because it's something you don't notice when you're a kid, but it's definitely like there's a lot to look into, there's a lot to talk about, and there's a lot of really major things about Hey Arnold that like you need to watch it again. And it's not something that you notice as a kid, and you can only appreciate it. Well, I don't know if you can only appreciate it as an adult, but you definitely appreciate it a lot more as an adult. I mean, for crying out loud, Jordan Fringe did a full-on 7-hour video about nothing but Hey Arnold. And that's something. That's something crazy. So I've definitely been talking about a lot of 90s cartoons, but that's mainly because like I was born in 95, but so I wasn't really around for most of these cartoons, but I was definitely I was definitely watching TV on the back end of most of these shows. Like I definitely grew up with the leftovers of the 90s, and I think like if you know a lot of 90s TV, it got weird. And I think the best way I can describe it is two trifectas of cartoons, one from Nickelodeon, one from Cartoon Network. And if you know these shows, you know what I'm talking about when I say they're weird. So for Cartoon Network, it would be stuff like Cow and Chicken, I Am Weasel, Two Stupid Dogs. These shows... What the heck were these shows? They were funny is what they were, but wow. Also, the theme songs. Unlike Rocket Power, like I'm not going to say these theme songs slap, but they definitely get stuck in your head. But I still want the Rocket Power theme song to be stuck in your head more than any of these other ones. But yeah, like honestly, what the heck was wrong with some of these shows? Actually, I'm not even done yet because I still have the trifecta from Nickelodeon, and it gets even weirder. Angry Beavers, Cat Dog, and you know what I'm going to bring up next. If you watched Nickelodeon back then, you know what I'm going to say. Ren and Stimpy. Freaking Ren and Stimpy. Honestly, sometimes I look at these 6 shows and I wonder, like, how was I able to watch these? How? But honestly, like, again, I don't have a whole ton to say, but like these shows were just so random, so crazy, but a lot of fun. Again, I never really sought out these shows, but I would definitely watch them whenever they were on, and I think that's really most of what you could ask for when you're a really young kid. So, again, not a ton to say, but I do have memories of these shows, and I do think they're a lot of fun. But of course, we are now getting into the shows that I actively sought out. I was always trying to watch them whenever they were on, and were 100% within my generation. Like I said, I was growing up during the leftovers of the 90s, but these shows were definitely 100% my generation. And I can't do a video about cartoon memories without talking about Ed, Ed, and Eddie. Oh man, I I wish these were my original copy. Like these are the official like Ed and Eddie DVD releases from back in the day. Like they only did the first two seasons though, which really sucks. I know there's that anniversary edition with the whole show, but I think they left out the holiday specials and the movie. And I'm sorry, how the hell can you have an Ed, and Eddie box set without Big Picture Show? Big Picture Show is one of the best cartoon series finales out there. Like, it... Okay, I'm putting... Ed, and Eddie's Big Picture Show was basically everything you would have wanted as an Ed, and Eddie fan. Like, it was, like, crazy. It was random. It was emotional. And it actually did something you would expect to be impossible. It recontextualized Eddie's actions, and it all centered around the mysterious Eddie's brother. That was so crazy. And Ed, and Eddie... What's even crazier is that the show, like, it's straight, like, I know most shows kind of go on for a few years, but this show straight up lasted an even 10 years. It premiered in 1999, and Big Picture Show ended the series in 2009. That's crazy. Like, it was almost like a perfect round, like, 10 years, and, like, it did everything it needed to. And Ed, and Eddie is one of the greatest cartoons of all time. The only reason I say it was almost perfect 10 years is I kind of wish they had delayed it 1 year so that it would have been from 2000 to 2010, like a much rounder number, like perfect 10 years. But hey, the show is still amazing. It's still it was my favorite cartoon when I was 4 years old, but it was definitely, like, and it definitely is one of my favorite cartoons. Like, it just, and actually, it's the reason I met a couple of my friends, too, as a kid. It's like, you like Ed, and Eddie? I like Ed, and Eddie. I think a lot of kids met friends through, like, their shared love of certain things, but couldn't have asked for a better shared interest. But the last cartoon I'm going to talk about, also from 1999, and this is definitely going to lead into the next video when I talk about other cartoons I grew up with. But, like, it's funny how I got one of my favorite slapstick cartoons in 1999, but then also in 1999, I got a show that set me down this path of becoming the dork I am today. Zoid's Chaotic Century. It was my first anime. It was where I realized, even as a 4-year-old, I like a lot of this stuff. I like fun characters. I like interesting plots. I like a cute love story. I like awesome action. And I love giant robots. Oh my god. I even remember, like, when I didn't like going to school, even if it was like preschool or kindergarten, it's like I was upset that I still had to go to school, I would visualize a Zoid destroying the school. But no, like, Zoids, it set me down this path, and I could not be more grateful. Like, I like interesting stories. I like awesome action. Like, I like... It's so weird that a lot of the networks that I watched growing up were just cartoons. But because of Zoids, those networks also had really cool action shows and some really heavy story-driven shows, and those were what I was drawn to. I may have been, and still am, a huge Ed, and Eddie fan, but it's because of Zoids that I am so into a lot of these, like, massive fictional worlds, and I'm going to talk about them in later videos. But I guess similarly to how my PSP is the heart and soul of my gaming collection, my gaming hobby, Zoids is probably the heart and soul of my just enjoyment of fiction overall. And I think that's special. Like, Maybe some of the voice acting doesn't hold up. The CG integration, it doesn't look bad, but you could definitely tell. But honestly, I can criticize the show all the livelong day if I really wanted to, but that doesn't mean I don't still love it. Zoids is one of my favorite cartoons of all time, and who knows what kind of nerd I would be without it. So that's basically it for part one, because honestly, there's way too many cartoons to talk about. This was already over 20 minutes long, and I should probably wrap this up before my SD card fills up. So yeah, I mean, this is going to be a new multi-part series. I love talking about just the things I'm passionate about, things in my hobbies, and things I grew up with. Just share with me in the comments below. Make your own videos, just like with the gaming memories videos. I want to share. I want the community to share. I love talking about this stuff, and I don't want this style of YouTube to die. So let me know some of your cartoon memories. And yeah, with all that, I am NerdRage36, and I'll see you later.